Hi Miyamoto, progress on the requested new 3D Mario game for Switch 2 is going smoothly. Our biggest yet, we made 8 open world—
Discarded. Start again. Make Mario Galaxy 3.
But what? That makes no sense. What about all the new gameplay ideas we just came up with?
No buts. The people yearn for the spheres. Discarded. Start again. So let's get this straight before we even begin. This video isn't a realistic analysis of what might come out and should probably happen next year. We simply do not know enough about the Switch 2 yet for me to make what I would believe to be a valid and informative video on that topic. I will get to it once we actually hear anything from Nintendo. For now, this is my ideal Switch 2 launch year lineup. A wish list of games that may range from possible to completely unrealistic, covering multiple genres that would make for the best possible Switch 2 launch year. For me, and maybe for you too. So let's begin! We're starting our journey in April 2025 because God said so, and our release date title will be Super Mario Galaxy 3. They've gone insane.
I told you they'd gone insane.
Well, I did say there would be some unrealistic choices in this video, but this isn't unrealistic because it's a bad idea, it's just this pesky number on the side. Ugh. Nintendo would never do a numbered sequel as a release date title. Even if Mario game could be played solely on its own, I don't think they want to take the risk and lose those 4 customers that be like, "Oh, it's the 3rd game. I must need to play the first 2. I am not going to purchase this Nintendo product for my Nintendo Switch 2 system." But why is this a good idea? And why would it instantly be a contender for my favorite game ever? Well, a bit of nostalgia bias and a huge opportunity for the next Mario Revolution. That's why. Let's look at Bowser's Fury, the last bit of new 3D Mario content that we got. An open world area linked up by an ocean. It's like taking the idea of Mario Odyssey's kingdoms and linking them together. Now imagine that, but it's entire planets! You could have Odyssey-styled kingdoms that look and feel wildly different with completely different gravities and planet sizes. Maybe a ringed planet where you get to explore the asteroids and look down and you see this huge kingdom below you that you can just hop off a launch star and explore without any loading screens? The Mario Galaxy idea on Wii was explored to the fullest extent that platform could handle. Now, with a more powerful system, scrap Mario Galaxy 3, this could be Super Mario Universe. You can't get much grander than the universe itself. Imagine the setting of the Galaxy games with the incredible orchestral soundtrack and beautifully creative planets, combined with Odyssey's open-ended gameplay style, and it could make for one of the most amazing Mario games we've ever seen. So that's my Switch 2 Day 1 release title. But we won't have to wait long for the next major Switch 2 release, because in the last week of May, Mario Kart X is being released. Oh, that letter's been ruined forever. Let's just hope they're not counting Tour. Mario Kart 9 is being released. Mario Kart 8 sold approximately 1 quadrigentillion units on Nintendo Switch while being a port of a Wii U game. It's ludicrous really, it's on par with Wii Sports. Mario Kart is Nintendo's most long-lasting series sales-wise, and it would be super smart for them to have it ready from the get-go for Switch 2. So what is my idea for a Mario Kart 9? Well, it seems like they're going into the direction of adding different kart forms, with underwater, gliding, and physics-defying kart transformations. And the reason they add these is less so to mix up the gameplay, because let's be real here, the gameplay changes from some of these transformations are minimal. They do it for track design reasons. The more your kart can do, the better and crazier they can make the tracks. And I don't think they're ready to walk back on any of these prior kart forms. I think they'll just add another one on top. And I have a couple ideas of what that may look like. First, the mini portal. It's similar to these rings you'd find in Mario Kart 8, except once you drive through it, it doesn't give you coins, it instead turns your kart really small, allowing you to take different routes through courses that you wouldn't be able to before, seeing these stages from a completely different perspective. They could have mandatory mini portal sections where everyone becomes mini at once, or they could have separate mini portal shortcuts that go along with the main track. And to balance it, they could make it so that items can stagger you for longer and other racers can simply run over you. Alternatively, they could go the Sonic Racing Transformed route and give those paragliders two Boeing 747 Rolls-Royce RB211 engines so that you can take flight mid-match, allowing for aerial Mario Karting. Can you imagine the kinds of tracks they could pull off with something like this? Wheezing through the air at 200cc while dodging mountains and items from your opponents just to make a safe landing on a platform that immediately turns your kart 180 degrees and you're racing on the side of a precipice and then you just jump off and you're flying again. It would be insane. But that's about it for Mario Kart. Even without any of these new features, it would still sell 10 metric tons of Switch 2 units, so please Nintendo, if anything from this video turns out true, make it Mario Kart 9. With Mario Kart to hold us over, Nintendo would focus their efforts into making the second half of 2025, preparing us for their big holiday title. But in the meantime, we're getting a bit of a smaller release, in the form of a new Nintendo IP.
Whoa, whoa, whoa there, it's the Graph Police.
Oh no, the Graph Police!
You there. You see this graph? That won't fly around here. You better subscribe to the RZB YouTube channel before I plant this suspicious package in your car. Trust me, you don't want to be caught dead with this. So, subscribe, please.
Much like they did with Splatoon in the Wii U and ARMS on the Switch, Nintendo will be willing to try out a new multiplayer franchise to fill a gap in a genre they're not particularly prevalent in. Stick with me here now. A roguelike, first-person multiplayer game. Okay, hear me out. Look at the current indie scene and games that have blown up recently. Phasmophobia, Lethal Company, even sillier titles like Chained Together. There's a market for these games where you can goof around with your friends for extended periods of time. And why did I make it a roguelite? Well, just look at Lethal Company. You land a ship, you goof around with your friends, you get scared for your life, you barely make it out alive, and you repeat. You go again. For over 100 hours, you go again.
Yeah, buddy.
Is it the baby?
I love you. Can I drop you on a mine?
No.
I'm gonna drop you on the mine, okay, buddy? That didn't work.
Nintendo has already achieved major success in the shooter genre with Splatoon. It definitely targets a different audience than your typical first or third person shooter, but they did it in their own way. And when I'm looking at the major AAA game developers, all these big players in the industry, I see a clear lack of these multiplayer roguelites. I see a lack of roguelites in general, to be honest. The indie scene is what's been carrying this genre. If Nintendo can bring their astonishing levels of polish into a unique multiplayer roguelite, maybe with proximity voice chat or some other similar social features, they could have a massive hit in their hands, an absolute win for both gamers and Nintendo. But I do say that as someone who is obsessed with roguelite games and believes Enter the Gungeon would be 50 times better if it just had online multiplayer. So, we're moving on to October, and as for our last game before the holidays, Nintendo has prepared another Mario franchise surprise for the 40th anniversary of Mario. Yeah, it's turning 40 next year, it's crazy, that's why we're seeing a ton of Mario here in this video, and get ready because you're probably gonna see a ton of Mario in real life next year too. So, you know, Nintendo loves to make a big deal of these milestones. Yeah, we're getting Luigi's Mansion 4. But why Luigi's Mansion? Well, it's been a while since we had 3, but most importantly, Luigi's Mansion is actually a bigger franchise than people think. Luigi's Mansion 3 sold almost 13 million units, and the remake for Luigi's Mansion 2? Yeah, that's right, Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, the game where you can clearly tell they barely put any effort in. That's on track to outsell Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, a game where you can clearly tell they did put effort in. Luigi's Mansion's just very popular, so Luigi's Mansion 4 will expand on the franchise while keeping its core intact. No massive open world or anything, just a new solid 12 to 15 hour long campaign. Luigi's Mansion's small enclosed environments make for a perfect display of the capabilities of Switch 2. Not having to focus on loading in massive landscapes, the game could harness the console's hardware power, making it so that every room is meticulously detailed. This game serves as much as a new Luigi's Mansion game to please fans as it does an advertisement for Nintendo's upcoming console, a perfect fit to have in your first year. And we finally made it, the first holiday title for Switch 2. And to be occupying this slot, you have big shoes to fill. You need to be a game that people love, a game that can hook you in and keep you playing, while also taking in consideration the prior year of announcements to make sure that you fit into a genre that has not yet been represented. So for the holiday title, I present Animal Crossing, Contemporary, Perspective. Animal Crossing Contemporary Perspective. Oh, what's that? What makes the perspective so contemporary, I hear you ask from the other side of my screen? Well, it's because the game takes place in a city, of course. Taking a different approach from New Horizons' isolated island getaways, this new Animal Crossing will take the player straight into city life. Well, not like that, more like in a romanticized and cute way, okay? From mayor to island representative, back to mayor again, you'll have more control over your town than ever before, fixing one of New Horizons' biggest problems being the lack of unique buildings and NPCs. Now, being in control of an actual city, you'll be able to decide where to place clothing shops, flower shops, general stores, apartments, houses, fisheries, the museum, and a bunch of other unique buildings, all led by their own unique, charismatic NPCs, which are also getting a makeover. Less lobotomized than the New Horizons NPCs, we can only hope. In Animal Crossing Contemporary Perspective, they're bringing back multiplayer mini-games that you can play with your friends online. They'll massively improve load times for the online modes, making them actually enjoyable, and on top of all that, they're introducing a newer and more in-depth trading system. Gone are the days of dropping items on the floor and hoping to not get scammed. Now, you can build a trading hub building, which will give you the power to sell your rare items directly to other players for bells, or trade them for other items. Just put it in the trade hub box, set a price, and wait for the money to come rolling in. That's right, you too can become a multi-millionaire by running your own trade empire. Or you could just sell the items directly to your friends instead by making private offers. But I could ramble on about ideas for a new Animal Crossing game all day, so I'll cut myself short there. Maybe I can come back to it once we're closer to the next game's release. And that's all for the first year of Nintendo Switch 2, a variety of games covering important genres and setting the scene for a healthy and thriving system that will live on for the next decade. What would you like to see released for the Switch 2? Do let me know in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe to see more content from me. It helps me out a lot and I do appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye!